Hello everyone, Julia Sheehan here, independent Stampin' Up demonstrator from Brisbane, Queensland. Tonight I would like to do this card with you. It's an inspiration from something I saw Jennifer Maguire do with a word, and I just liked the way the word turned out, and then I thought, oh wow, how nice would that look with an image that stood out. And for me, I love nature, and the tree just seemed to be perfect. Just seeing this larger image of the tree with this one inside it, I just think is lovely. I tried a few different colours. I'm running out of cardstock, particularly yellow, seeing I've started this card 3 times tonight, and I've had some major disasters along the way. My phone alarm went off because I had to take some medication. I did something round the wrong way, so I started again. I'm trying to work out editing, and I mean, all this is very new to me as far as putting things together. I usually do a card in one take, and so I thought today I'll spend a lot of time trying to work out how to edit it and put, a couple of sections together. Well, I haven't quite got there yet, so I thought, oh well, I'll redo it again. So I have bits of card everywhere at the moment, and lots of yellow because that's all I have. So that's what we're doing it in. All right, so what you need is, and what I'm using is a piece of Mango Melody as my base, and then I'm using, that's 5 7/8 of an inch by 8 1/4 inches. And I'm using crushed curry. All of these are 5 6/8 of an inch by 4 inches. So crushed curry, So Saffron, Daffodil Delight, Pineapple Punch, and Mango Melody again. So the first thing you do is fold and burnish your card, and then glue the crushed curry piece on. And yes, very unusual combination of colours, but it works okay when you get the whole lot together. Not something that I would normally choose to do, so I have stepped out of my comfort area for a lot of this card, just in the way of colours and the style of a card that I do. So I think it's good to do that from time to time, just try something new. It's always good to try something new. A little bit of glue there. Okay, so that takes care of that. And I'm surprised I didn't put that on backwards, considering everything else I've done tonight so far. And then we're going to get the big shot up. Some of you may know that you can no longer get cutting pads from Stampin' Up, or cutting blades for our cutter as well. So I was out of these, so I've harkened back to an old one I had from before. It's a little bit misshapen, but it'll do the trick. And I've dug out a very old cutting blade that still cuts a little bit, so unfortunately you can't even get those. So I'm in a bit of a pickle at the moment as to what I'm going to do. Very kind lady who's part of the team I'm a part of has ordered some, and she got in before they stopped supplying them, and so she's going to actually sell me one of her sets, so I will be able to keep going for a while. Now, as you might have seen, I just roughly put my ruler on there just to see, about where I'd like the tree to go. So I'm going to put it about there. And I've put 2 of the pieces of cardstock together. I don't know if I said that as I did it. Make sure they line up together as best you can. That's going to be important. Then just get your cutting pad, which I have one good one left. Pop that on there and run that through only once. Just the once. And then you'll have this. So then you're going to take that off, take your tree out, your top layer of your tree, top layer of your card, put them to the side, and then you're going to bring your cutting plate back around. I'm using the magnetic platform, not that it's going to work particularly with the bow that's in this plate, but nevertheless. Now you put your tree, oh sorry, you've got to put two pieces, one that hasn't been cut and the one that has. Line those up again, put them on here, and then get your framelit and sit it into the rut of the tree that you cut before. And you'll find it very easily, it just sits in there. Plate back on and run that one through just once. Do exactly the same thing again. Take that tree out, take the top layer off, put your last two together, line them up. Find the rut. There it is. And oops, put your plate on and run it through. Now this one you can come back with because it's your last one, so you can cut through both, and it does pretty well. Give it the 3-4. It should cut it out perfectly fine for you. There's that one. Take my top off. And there's the last one. And they're done. I'll just put that there because we will cut out the other tree shortly. Now, when you're cutting these, you have to be careful, because if you cut it in the wrong place, you're going to get the wrong piece on your card. Now, the first time I cut this, I cut it down here. I thought, oh, yeah, the top of the tree would be good. So I cut something that looked like that. However, that's not good, because this piece here, then, when you sit it on the card, overlaps your tree. So you've got to pull your tree down a lot further, and it just doesn't look right. So what you do is you make sure you cut it above that piece that sticks out. And any other dies that you decide to use, do the same thing. Look at it and think, oh, there are bits that are going to stick out. But by moving that piece there down to here and cutting it there, it sits there perfectly fine. So now that I've done that, I'm going to get my cutter and my dodgy blade, and I'm going to line it up in here, and I'm going to cut it about there. Now that works out at 2 15/16. So that's good, because what I'll do is I'll cut them all at the same. I know where to line it up now. So cutting, two 15/16. Cut that one. So it's good if you can get a marker there just where it sits, and you know that all of them are going to be cut at the same spot. And then when you've got all those, they line up like that. So that's good. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our top layer on. So we're going to start with the So Saffron. Now if you have a look at the green card as opposed to the rainbowy card, I don't think I left enough space at the top here. I think this one's more balanced. So I'm going to go on roughly what I used for this one. So I'll just get my ruler, and my bottom layer was at 2 inches. So that's quite good. So if that's at 2 inches, I just sit it in here at 2 inches. Better get my glasses on for longer distance. Okay, and then I know that I can cut that there. Then the next one will be at 1 7/8 of an inch, because it's going to go down 1/8 of an inch each time, because that's roughly the width of the edge of the framelit that shows. If you look here, that's about 1/8 of an inch where that marker is. So that's what I sort of go on. And then the next one will be 1 6/8 of an inch. Sorry, did I say 1 6/8 of an inch. See, I'm going to mess it up again. That'd be perfectly fitting tonight if I did that. It'd be par for the course tonight. And 1 5/8. So we've got 2, 1 7/8, 1 6/8, and 1 5/8. And we just set that there and cut it. Okay. Then we get our card base, and starting with the saffron. There it is, the glue. I'm making sure I know which way the card opens, because anything could happen tonight. I hope you all had a lovely Easter. Got to spend it with either friends or family or someone, or even a favourite pet. They're always good company. And we just stick that one on right up to the edge of the top of the crushed curry. We don't want it to be seen. And press it down. Then Daffodil Delight goes on over the top of that. And stick that on there, up to the very top, and that should sit on the edge of the framelit mark, like that. And I'll do the others and I'll be right back. Okay, they're on. So now we do the bottom. So we're just going to use a tree to sit on here to roughly mark out where we think we want the tree to sit. And then we get our bottom pieces and we just decide where we think we want that to sit. And I think there's good. There's no exact spot, it's just whatever you think. I was looking for my pencil in the last one I did, and I still can't find it, so I'm just going to roughly mark this, and I think that's probably good there. So I'm just going to trim off about there, so I can put that in my cutter. And that's going to work out at 2 5/8. I'm going to trim that off it. So then I'm going to do the next one, the Daffodil Delight, at 2 4/8. It was 2, wasn't it? Yep. So 2 4/8 or 2 1/2. It's entirely up to you what you like to call it. Oops, I'll bring it down again. So 2 1/2. Two 3/8 for the pineapple punch. Pop that one there. And 2 1/4 or 2 2/8. Okay. Yes, I'm finding it hard to get an editing program that actually suits my computer. It's not some super whammy computer. It's quite basic, and just you know, when they demonstrate stuff on YouTube where they say click on this. Mine doesn't have it, so I have a few issues with it. So hopefully I will be able to learn how to do a bit better editing, and then I won't have to do everything in one take. But till then, I've had to redo the card. Gives me a few cards to give away, but just frustrating, that's all. And then we do exactly the same thing at this end. Line it all up and do each layer. So I'll be back in 1 second. Okay, back and finished. That part's done. So now we just get our piece of Whisper White and our tree stamp. Now this beautiful set obviously is rooted in nature, and that's the tree I've been using, and obviously the framelit is from this as well. And then the greeting I'm using is "You are simply the best," and that comes from Varied Vases. So I'm going to do both of those at the moment, and I'm going to emboss them in gold. Actually, I did one in gold earlier. I'm wondering if copper might look nice. I'll try it in copper, see how it goes. If it looks terrible, it doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to Versamark that up and embossing buddy my 2 pieces here that I need for my sentiment. Okay, so we'll do the tree on there. Give that a good press down. And I'll just cover up the Versamark for a minute. And we'll try some copper embossing powder, just something a bit different. There we are. That's that one. And I'll also do the sentiment in the copper as well. So and we'll pop that on. Hopefully that's straight. Oh yes, that seems quite good. Okay, and again, a bit of copper. Lovely. Okay, well I'm holding that one, so I might as well start with that one. Sorry for the noise. There it goes. It gets rather hot, so I'll just swap it round. And then our lovely tree. Oh, look at that. It's beautiful the way it goes. I never ever get tired of embossing. Just beautiful. Alright, so that little one I'm just going to attach to the strip of crushed curry, which I don't know if I told you the measurements of that. I've roughly used the Whisper White at 2 3/4 of an inch by 9/16 of an inch, and the crushed curry was 2 7/8 of an inch by 11/16 of an inch. I think I may have actually given those measurements in the first couple of videos that I attempted, so I might have forgotten to pass that information on. Look, slide on there. There we are, that's on there, and I'm going to cut that one out. So I'll be right back. Okay, there it is. Now, with that, I am now going to use these trees. Now, you can use these for any number of projects. You don't have to do this, but I am actually going to glue these together, just instead of using dimensionals. So I may not get around to using the trees. I've got a few ideas for projects, but I just don't know if I'll have the time to do it. But anyway, it was interesting. My daughter came around yesterday for Easter, and I actually spent up for the weekend, and she was looking at the cards I had made, and she said to me, "Oh, I really like the way that you did the colours of the trees behind the tree." And I thought, how on earth did she even realise that I'd done that? And I don't know if you can see that, probably the light's not good, but all those layers, you can actually see the colour. You might be able to see it a little bit there, but you can actually see the colour, and she noticed it. She said, "Oh, you know, I like that behind there." And so I thought, oh well, you know, things that people notice, you don't expect that they'll notice. I just did it because I thought, oh well, I won't use dimensionals, I'll just glue it down, you know, and that'll be it. But she liked it. That magic slider card, I did them an Easter card, all my kids an Easter card with one of those, and I loved watching their reactions when they got it and pulled it out. I just went, "Oh, how did you do that?" You know, it was such a good feeling. And then they had a really good look and went, "Ah, that's what you did." Okay, last one, glued on, all on top of one another, and then our copper tree on top. One of the yellow cards I fully finished, so it's got gold on it, so that's why I tried the copper. I'll show you the difference in a minute. And there we go, and then there's all your different yellows that are underneath that. All we do is glue that in there wherever you want. So I'm putting my glue everywhere, and I'm going to sit it about there, I think. Yep. And just press that down, and then our sentiment, and I might put a couple of dimensionals on there. And the reason I used the crushed curry was because it was in the base there of the work. And I'll just sit that on there. And hooray, I actually finished it, which is good news. I really don't want to do it again tonight. Okay, so there it is beside the gold one. So I don't know which one you prefer. I quite like them both. I actually like the copper on it. It looks nice. So several yellow cards, my rainbow card, my green card. There you go. And any sentiment. I've got thank you, birthday wishes, you are simply the best. And it's quite an easy card to do. Seems more complicated than it actually is. And I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and thanks for everybody who has that was a mouthful, wasn't it? Has subscribed to my channel. I really appreciate it. And any comments I'd love to have, good or bad, it doesn't matter as long as it's to do with the card. I really appreciate it. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful week. I'm starting a new job tomorrow, so I'm very excited about that. And I'll see you all again next week. Have a great week. Bye for now.